very well in his Republican primary challenge race. So I think we'll hear from Larry Liston and some other lawmakers as well, and potentially Jeff Crank fairly soon.
Yeah, Bente, can you give us a little bit of maybe a Monday morning quarterbacking here? Is this what you were thinking would happen a little bit in all of your reporting that you've done as our political reporter?
It was, anecdotally, when I was down in this area talking to voters, I didn't find anyone who was supporting Williams. I found a few people on the fence, but a lot of folks said, A, they didn't like some of the things he was doing in terms of running the party. One woman was upset with Williams' anti-LGBTQ pride email that was sent earlier this month, and that got a lot of negative attention from Republicans, and there's an effort from some county GOP chairs to oust him, have a meeting to try to vote him out of his state party chair position. He will be up for re-election for his state chair position if he chooses to run next year.
They were trying to pull him out.
I think I was hearing from a lot of people that there just wasn't a huge section of Republicans who are going to back Williams' style. And since this was just a two-way primary, people were pretty optimistic here that Crank would come away with a pretty sizable victory.
Hey, Bente,
Trump-ooniers voting for Crank is too on the nose.
The people that you've been talking to at this party, I know that a lot of people have talked about ousting Williams over the emails and how he's run the party, but are they also talking about the fact that a lot of the, at least in the contested primaries, the Colorado State Party candidate, not including Boebert, are all losing, and like that the party is picking losers, and that's another reason that Williams should be a vote of no confidence.
I think that's an added reason if you're not winning races. And Republicans have the fewest seats in the state legislature in state history, no statewide elected positions. And I think a lot of Republicans feel like they want to make some gains. They want to get more seats back.
Change
I feel
what
like
you
there's
are.
a lot more people that do support the conservative and Republican ideals. The libertarian streak in Colorado, and they think they can persuade a lot of voters if there isn't this divisiveness. And so they see Williams as a real hindrance to the type of conservatism that may appeal to a lot more Colorado voters.
Yeah. And I think along that same line, either Caitlin or Bente or Greg, how does this play into campaigns this summer and fall? You have to ask that question because this is where the Republican Party is in Colorado at this moment. You're seeing these results play out, but not just about the presidential race, but for instance, legislative races. This seems like a touchstone moment, like Bente was saying.
Yeah, I think I'm not as familiar as Bente and Andy are with the legislative races, but they haven't done well the state house in the last couple of cycles either, and I don't think they want to go any lower. I don't think they want to see super majorities in both chambers. Greg, you can correct me if I'm wrong there, but yeah, and you need a strong Republican Party to field candidates that can appeal to moderate voters, especially moderate unaffiliated voters, and that's going to be the issue. And I know that in 2022, the Republican Party tried this. The candidates didn't succeed, but they did well, and they had they had a really good slate in 2022. Yeah. So the question is, can they get a strong slate in 2024?
Yeah.
And the question also is, because since 2018, for 3 cycles in a row, Republicans have performed about 10 points below where they normally do in any given seat. So the question is, are they going to be? I think all politics has become national now, and so we were losing all the way down to dog catcher in the suburban counties on the Republican side, starting in 2018. The question is, are the voters here, have they had enough of the other team so that they'll swing back and start voting the way Colorado voters have been voting?
Well, but had enough. But when you have someone as divisive as Dave Williams running the party, I think they're like, no, maybe not enough. Bente, I heard some cheering in the background. Is there something going on back there?
I've been listening to you guys, so I don't totally know. We don't hear like a Crank announcement yet, but
when you do, we'll
talking up there.
We'll follow that again. Bente Birkeland, we have to move on. Thank you so much. This is CPR politics reporter Bente Birkeland at the Boot Barn Hall in Colorado Springs, and that is the watch party
I'm
for
glad
Jeff
they're not playing
Crank.
live.
You were listening to special
speeches,
coverage from CPR News and KRCC. This is primary day in Colorado. It has been an exciting conversation for the past hour here. Let's do this recap. The AP has called Lauren Boebert in her race for her new seat in District 4. The AP has also called the GOP primary race for CD8. Gabe Evans will face Yadira Caraveo in November. And in the 5th district, we have our first
mentioned
results
any
with Jeff Crank leading Dave
primary
Williams by a
results for
landslide.
Democrats.
Crank has nearly 70%
like that's not what the
of
focus
the
is
vote.
on or something.
Again, in the headline race tonight, Lauren Boebert has won the race for her new district, according to the Associated Press.
Who
Meaning
won
she's
the
moving on to
Democrat
the
race
general
against her?
election. And she spoke to her
It's kind of
supporters
awkward
just
how
a
the
bit ago.
focus is on
And
Republicans.
you are listening to live special coverage on this primary day. We're going to have
Now they have
more
to still
here
be
in just
too
a
careful
few
to play
minutes.
them live.
Again, it is an exciting
But the focus,
evening
the
here on
the Republicans are the ones
CPR News and
center, even though they're
KRCC.
the
I'm along here
minority
with
power
Washington,
and
D.C. reporter Caitlin Kim,
losing
as well
popularity.
as in-studio Republican Greg Brophy, and from Pueblo, Democrat Sal Pace. They both served as state lawmakers and are